Welcome to No Broken Legs. I am your host, Evan Belfiore. It is Christmas week, and there are just going to be games all weekend long, and joining to find winners is Jimmy Champ. Jimmy, how are you on this Tuesday night?
Oh, I'm glad. For a Christmas present, we all get backup quarterback roulette. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, these are like some of the hardest games to bet. Because you always have teams like, oh yeah, that team's fighting for a playoff spot. They'll come out with fire, and then they lose to somebody like the Saints. The Browns showed a little fight against the Bills. The Bills looked like they were trying to do as little as possible and get a win in that game. What were your impressions of what we saw Sunday?
I mean, could the Browns look like they could show fight or look like they could win a game when they're not down 2 scores? Could we try that maybe? Could they try that maybe? Just a thought. Like this, I don't know. I mean, all the rumors appear to be Stefanski's gone, and we're going to bring Barry back for another draft.
Yeah, and Barry's going to have even more power, so
Yeah,
that should go swimmingly. Well, he's had one good draft in 6 years, so you can't get rid of guys with that kind of track record.
I mean, I'm starting to question how good of a draft it was. I mean, he definitely got Fannin right. And Judkins looks good. Somehow Mason Graham can't get to the quarterback when Myles Garrett's getting blocked by 3 people. So, not totally sure how good of a pick that was. And Carson Schlesinger, really good at tackling people 4 yards downfield. So that's cool.
Certainly, Schlesinger, I mean, you have Darryl Ryder talking about him as a potential Hall of Fame player, and it's just like, dude, you need to calm down. He looks like he's a pretty good player. The defensive line being as good as they've mostly been this year, and like he should be getting more closer to the line of scrimmage and tackles for a loss. I don't know why that hasn't happened. He's more of a coverage guy, which your linebackers really need to be these days, but they just get absolutely annihilated on the ground, and that's what we saw Sunday. And that's what you would hope Mason Graham would be able to do something about.
Yeah, you would hope. It's not happening, so I don't know. I mean, like if it's like because Shador kind of resembles what they wanted Deshaun Watson to be without the sexual allegations.
Wait, this is what they wanted Deshaun Watson to be?
I don't understand.
They moved on from Baker and traded 3 first-round picks and like a second and a third, and paid a crap load of money for a guy that completes like 55% of his passes and doesn't look like he understands pre-snap reads.
But that's the thing is I don't understand how across the board Cleveland Brown fans, I get the Shador Dion fans, I get that. But across the board I do not understand how the Cleveland Browns fans and the Cleveland media is like, oh yeah, you got to run it back with Shador next year. Like, statistically, he's horrible.
But, I mean, if I'm the Browns, if that gives you the cover to do that, I mean, that's what you need to do because you need to draft an all-new line. You need 3 wide receivers. I mean, and this is just if you're going to logistically compete. And if they go out there and say, we're going to trade our 2 first-round picks to move up and get a quarterback, who's going to be on this offense besides the quarterback?
Right.
Like, you're going to put him with a terrible offensive line, and we've done this. Like that's the start of a 2 to 3 year cycle where everybody gets fired after a year.
Like I get that, but poor offensive line play, and poor wide receiver play does not take away from all the mistakes Shador Sanders is making. Like I was told Dylan Gabriel can't be the quarterback because he can't throw the ball downfield and he can't see over the defensive line, so his passes are going to get tipped. But every week Shador Sanders lazily throws a ball that a defensive lineman tips or gets intercepted, and he's averaging 5 yards an attempt.
There's different reasons for that. Dylan Gabriel gets the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage because he's short, and he sails passes because he's short, and he's trying to keep passes from being tipped so his passes sail. And he just doesn't have the arm strength to complete passes downfield. Like, he just doesn't. His passes are too interceptable. those things happen to Shador because the defense knows he is a strictly progression-based that he is simply a progression-based quarterback.
I
And
mean,
they know what his progressions are going to be, so they know where they need to be to get into his passing lanes. And I think that's why he's getting passes deflected like that, and I think that's why he's really struggling right now because he just doesn't see it, as to use the term that you like to say. He just doesn't see it. So he's just running a progression offense, and the other team knows what his progression is. And this is, you might, like, there's a lot of, to use a basketball analogy, people talk about, oh, the triangle, like that's what Jordan and Kobe did. Like, it would dominate today. Why doesn't anybody use the triangle? And it's like, people use parts of the triangle, but it got to a point where the triangle, players became so used to the triangle that they knew, okay, if we do this, they're going to react this way. And they would just continually do that until they got you into a bad matchup. And that's how you would defend. That's why the triangle isn't used anymore. And that is an issue that the Browns and the whole league is dealing with now, is that you can't just have your guy drop back and make progressions. He has to be able to read the defense and understand pre-snap what's happening and post-snap what's happening, because defenses have gotten super complex. We've been talking about on this podcast for years. And now it's not just quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and you have guys like Drake May that are younger that are playing super well. Even a guy like Bo Nix, who has had moments where he's looked awesome and other moments where he's looked terrible. Trevor Lawrence, same thing. But those guys are all mobile, and they've all got weapons around them. And it's like defenses are used to playing teams like that, and you're trying to go out there and compete with the worst weapons group in the league, or a bottom 5 weapons group, and a quarterback that's not very good. Oh, and your offensive line can't block. Like, half the time guys are they're just free runners. And that it doesn't matter who's back there at that point. Like, we saw what happened last Super Bowl when Patrick Mahomes is just under siege the whole game. Like, it's just, you're already done.
Yeah, but I disagree that he's just under siege the whole game. He has clean pockets, and he throws hospital balls for his receivers, and he throws balls that aren't catchable, and he lazily flips balls down the field that get intercepted. Like, dude ain't starting quarterback. And
no,
if you go,
I would agree.
It doesn't matter.
I agree with that.
It doesn't matter how good of a draft you have. If you go into next year with Shador Sanders as quarterback, you're not going to win any football games.
Yeah, but I think that's what they need to do. You build the team, you quote unquote build the team around Shador, and then find your quarterback in 27, and you actually have the cover to do that, because that's what everybody is saying to do. So, like, they're kind of giving you a free year to try that. And I think if you're the Browns, you need to take that, because, like I said, going out and getting a quarterback isn't going to solve any of your problems.
I think you're going to have a hard time getting a good coach to come in and take Shador Sanders as your starting quarterback.
But they're not. It's I'll believe it when I see it. But if this team
Do
fires
you really
Stefanski and keeps Andrew Berry, that is just idiotically stupid.
You do really believe Stefanski's back next year?
I don't understand how you can get rid of one and not the other.
Oh, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
So I guess it's the Browns, so that makes the most sense, for that's what they would do, the thing that makes the least amount of sense.
Yeah.
I have my problems with Stefanski as a coach, and again, I'm not supporting keeping Kevin Stefanski. I just don't see how you fire him. This team is not good. We talk about it every week. The team is not good. The team lacks talent, and a lot of that is on Andrew Berry.
Yeah.
Like, they had a bad offensive line coming into the year. It was the one thing we talked about. It was like, yeah, if everybody stays healthy, but none of these guys are going to stay healthy. And guess what? None of them stayed healthy.
And somehow nobody else saw that coming. It's just wild. It's wild. But, I mean, you gotta have players at every position, and they're so hampered by salary cap, it makes it hard. But I just...
Oh, yeah. And they're probably... you know who their backups or their, veteran guy is going to be, don't you?
Who's that?
He's already on the roster. They're going to be paying him like $50 million, or he's going to count like $50 million against the cap next year. It's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So Browns fans have that to look forward to. Fun times.
It's like I said. It's what I said last week remains true. Where like you just said it, it's what everybody. Oh well, just put an offensive line and 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs with him. It's not fucking Madden. You can't do that in one draft. Like it sucks, but good teams don't let good offensive linemen go. The Browns don't have money to overpay. There aren't that many good offensive linemen ever in a draft, and you do have to draft a wide receiver. Like that first pick is going to be a wide receiver, I imagine.
But it's not.
You don't think so?
Are you telling me that Andrew Berry's all of a sudden going to draft a wide receiver in the first round at the top of the draft?
Yeah, I
think
think
he's going to spend a top 5 pick on a wide receiver?
I think he has to.
I mean, I think he's still convincing himself that he's going to find the right wide receiver in the 3rd round that's like 5'10".
Oh, that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, because it's probably what's going to happen. They're going to draft a quarterback, and then they're going to, I don't know, draft a lineman or take like a late 1st round receiver that's like the 5th receiver off the board.
Yeah.
And a guy that a lot of people were like, I don't know, he seemed like more of a 2nd, 3rd round pick.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Well, the Browns do have a game. They're playing Sunday in Cleveland. Pittsburgh comes to town. The Steelers are 3-point favorites. The over-under sits at 33.5. This just feels like a classic Pittsburgh 24-6 drubbing.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. This isn't the games you've played the last 2 weeks where Chicago and Buffalo needed a win but weren't going to overly exert themselves to get that win. They were going to do as little as possible to basically control the entire game, and Cleveland scores some points that make people think, blah, 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 blah. Mike Tomlin they are going to beat the absolute piss out of the Cleveland Browns. Like, I'll be happy if it's 24-6. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 40-0. Like, the Steelers are going to beat the absolute piss out of the Cleveland Browns in this game.
Yeah, and they're going to be doing everything they can to make sure Garrett doesn't get the record.
Yeah, I mean, since, Jim Schwartz refuses to move him around or
it's so fucking frustrating. It's just so boring.
It's, every other defensive coordinator with a superstar defensive end knows how to move him around or put enough people on the same side with him, but we just kept going wide 9 and they kept over blocking and letting him run by. Like, since Jim Schwartz won't move him, I agree. The Steelers will do the exact same thing Buffalo did. You're not going to get the record against us. Not like that. Not unless you move him around. Or you put 2 linebackers on both sides of him and make you block all 3. Like, it should not be hard to scheme up 1 sack for one of the greatest pass rushers ever in the history of football.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't put him in the middle of the line between, I don't know, put him between Hall and Graham and rush Schlesinger behind him, or Delpit can blitz. There's all kinds of things you can do, but they don't do them. There's just a total lack of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been that way for years. So,
but speaking of the game, I mean, I think the Steelers looked pretty good against Detroit. They did pretty. I mean, they've handled one of the better run offenses in the league really well. Their offense, like, it would make sense in a year of absolute chaos that a team coached by Mike Tomlin and quarterbacked by Aaron Rodgers would go on a Super Bowl run. It would make perfect sense. But yeah, I think the Steelers are. I think the Steelers are going to just dominate this football game.
Any final thoughts on the Browns?
I think it's just, as we've been watching the last couple of weeks, I think you'll continue that. It's watching the young guys, who's still fighting, who does it look like maybe is clocked out, who does it look like that's pushing. The running back that played last week was Rocket. God damn, his last name's eluding me right now. So Rocket Sanders. Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah, the other Sanders.
I thought he was excellent. He ran really hard. So, I mean, I think there's still things to watch and see, but like it's sad that I'm more excited for. I would prefer a just sideline camera of the whole game, just so I can try to pick up on like body cues of what's going on, like who cares, who doesn't care. Like I don't know. I mean, I think it's just going to be a rough last 2 weeks, leading into a very interesting offseason that may or may not come with another coaching change.
Another reason I don't think they make a coaching change is I don't see who's out there. They missed the last 2 years were the 2 years to get a coach.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And just another point that I would like to make about that head coaching search, if they do end up going that direction, they have to get a young offensive guy.
Yeah.
And the reason is our old friend down in Baker in Tampa Bay is an excellent example of why you need to get an offensive coach. Nick Wright talks about it a lot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had Carolina's head coach and Jacksonville's head coach as their offensive coordinator the last 2 years. And those were Baker's 2 best years, and those guys have moved on to other jobs, and they've done quite well in those jobs.
I'm excellent there, too. Yep, I agree.
And you're sitting there going, well, you've had 4 offensive coordinators in the time that Baker's been there. 2 of them were really good. Like, the odds that you were going to get another guy that was going to be really good are pretty slim. So they're looking at that right now, and it may cost Todd Bowles his job.
Well, I mean, I think Todd Bowles will cost Todd Bowles his job.
Well, there's that too.
We'll talk about that. But you know, I mean, I guess I feel like Kevin Stefanski would be so wronged to lose his job and Barry keep his job because
I think that's madness.
The roster that's been given to him over and over again has been poor at so many spots.
Well, it would also continue the lack of accountability, because that lack of accountability starts at the top and it just trickles its way down, and Andrew Barry continues to be a substandard GM. He continues to not take accountability or talk to the press or do anything. And that would be another shitty reason for firing Stefanski. He's supposed to be the mouthpiece for the season, and he's been out there speaking for you, and now you're going to fire him? And now you're going to try and say, no, this is the guy that is going to hire the next coach, and the next coach is going to trust this guy. Yeah, he's going to trust Barry because Barry didn't just bury a knife in Stefanski's back.
Yeah, very true. All very, very true. So, yeah, I agree it would be madness, but, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising either.
That's standard operating procedure in Berea. Well, let's get to the rest of these games. Our first Christmas game sees the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders. Not exactly what the NFL had anticipated when they scheduled this game. They were probably thinking, "Oh yeah, man, Dak and Jaden Daniels playoff spot on the line." Wrong.
Yeah, that's absolutely what they thought. Not what they're getting.
The Dallas Cowboys are 7-point favorites. 50.5 is the over/under. I don't want anything to do with Washington. I don't know what to make of them without Jaden Daniels, and this season's just been so bad for them.
Yeah, they had a good week last week. I don't really like the points because I think we could maybe patchwork an offense together to score some points on the Cowboys. So I like the Cowboys money line, but I mean it's such horrible odds. So it's kind of a stay away for me. I think the Cowboys win this game, but I just don't like the touchdown because there was a backdoor cover. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, I like that because that Dallas defense is just not good.
It's pretty bad.
Up next, the Detroit Lions are traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The
Poor
Lions
Vikings.
are 7.5-point favorites. 43.5 is the over/under. Tough way to lose a game last week for Detroit. And I still don't know what to make of Minnesota. It seems like J.J. McCarthy's sometimes good, sometimes bad, which means he's probably overall going to not be good. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, McCarthy out for this week. Whoever they end up starting at quarterback, to me, has a chance to audition for a job next year. I think they know McCarthy's probably not the guy. But it's probably a bad week to be a Minnesota Viking. The Lions have a very bad taste in their mouth from the loss. I think the Lions deserve to lose that game. I believe those were clear penalties, but, just the way referees can't – just like the whole way that was handled.
He
was just
totally
horrible.
should have milked it more and just really stuck the knife in. He really should have said. He should have said there is a penalty on the play. I mean, look, we're killing the messenger here. The fact of the matter is, Detroit lost that game fair and square.
Yeah, but they are going to come out and just beat the ever loving hell out of this Vikings
Oh, so it
team.
looks like Brosmer is going to start.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
give me
Brosmer's
give
gonna be the
me
starter.
Detroit with as many points as possible. That dude's not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, no, Detroit's going to, I mean, they've got to be frustrated, and I don't know. I think they're still in the hunt. I don't think they've been mathematically eliminated
No,
yet.
they still have an outside chance.
But so I see them just absolutely whooping up in this game. That'll be a fun game because they're going to score a lot of points.
The Buccaneers and Panthers are going for the NFC West. They're not going to make the playoffs as a
Neither one
wild
can be a
card.
wild card.
So the last wild card spot is between Green Bay and Detroit. And Detroit is currently a game and a half behind Green Bay with 2 games left. So Green Bay has to lose both and Detroit has to win both unless a tie happens, and you figure that out on your own. Our next game sees the Denver Broncos hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. 13.5-point favorites are the Broncos. 36.5 is the over-under. Another game that is not exactly what the NFL was hoping for when they scheduled this. The Broncos just keep winning, except last week Jacksonville nipped them, but it doesn't look like Kansas City's too worried about trying the rest of this season.
It has just been such chaos this year that I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game.
Wow.
I think the cloak of we can just keep pulling out games. We don't really have to play a good 60 minutes. I think they lost that last week with Jacksonville, so I think they're going to come back down a little bit. They lost a key piece of their offense. They're in a pretty bad injury at the end of the game. That's going to affect them. Obviously everybody's playing on a short week, but they're going to be on a short week. I mean, there can be no tape of this third string quarterback whose last name I don't know how to pronounce, so I'm not going to butcher it here. But it's just been so wild to me this year that I'm willing to lose a little bit of my value on this game if the Chiefs don't. I'll probably take them to cover and then again to win, but I just think the Chiefs, it's going to be a wild, crazy way to get there, but I think the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Wow. Plus 650 on the money line there.
Yeah.
Our next game sees the Houston Texans traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers
wow.
are 2-point favorites. 39.5 is the over-under. This is a game with playoff implications right now. The Chargers are 5th. The Texans sit 7th. The Chargers are in. The Texans haven't clinched. This is a tough game to look at because that Texans defense is so good, but that offense looks so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. They were really, really humming, and then the Raiders all of a sudden just played well defensively, or the Texans offense just had one of those bad games, but their defense was playing so well at times it didn't matter, but they actually gave up a couple broken plays, which has been very uncharacteristic for them. I believe the Texans have the best unit. I believe the Texans have the better coach. And at this point, I would take C.J. Stroud and his weapons over Justin Herbert and his weapons. So I'm taking the Texans to win this game outright.
I like the Texans with the points. This is a game that'll really let me know what's what with these teams
game.
For in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
it is a big, big game.
Yeah, Houston needs it to have any hope for the division. And, the Chargers are going to be a wild card because they're not going to catch Denver. So maybe Houston having a little more to play for plays into this. I don't know. We'll see. Our next game sees the Green Bay Packers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Packers are 2.5-point home favorites. 40.5 is the over-under. This is the type of game you look at and say Green Bay should dominate. Jackson finally, it came to a head last week with Lamar. He's not healthy. And they're a different team when he's not out there.
So So early rumors say Lamar isn't going to play, but right now, Jordan Love and Malik Willis are both truly questionable. So it could be the Packers' third string quarterback versus
Snoop.
Tyler Huntley. I believe Huntley is Lamar's backup. Um, I want to say just hammer the Ravens here because they're just going to give Derrick Henry the ball 35 times.
Yeah, but they
But
won't.
But I mean, they forgot how to do that in the fourth quarter, cost them a ball game. So I don't know. For me, because there's so many variables, this is an absolute statement.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should bet this game. Even if, I guess if Jordan Love plays, then you can feel comfortable taking the Packers. But I don't know. This game, I think you need to stay away from this game in general.
Yeah, I mean it's wild because this game has crazy playoff implications on both sides in both conferences. But it could be a really ugly game. Like, if you were just a maniac and you had to lay money on this game, I would take the under.
Yeah, that's the bet I would make in this game. Our next game sees the aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Miami Dolphins in Miami. The Buccaneers are 5.5-point favorites. 45.5 is the over/under. Jimmy, Tampa Bay needs a win. Like, they need a win really bad.
Man, the defense can't get off the field when they need to.
And I don't know why they don't give Bucky Irving the ball in the red zone. They had just 5 carries, I think, in the red zone, and like inside the 2-yard line, and couldn't score a touchdown. Like, that's just poor.
And I think that is what you were talking about earlier. I think is the biggest difference between the young, good offensive minds in the league and the stale, not quite successful. Like, when you're on the goal line, quit bringing in 3 extra offensive linemen. Stop it. Or if you're going to do that, throw a pass to one of them.
Yeah.
Like, stop getting 22 people within 8 inches of each other and trying to run straight ahead. Like,
yeah, it's poor. It's
Stop.
poor.
Stop it. Stop. What are you doing, Tampa Bay? Like,
yeah,
weird.
I'm going to take Miami here. I
No.
just the Buccaneers. It's just a big 5.5 points, man.
No, you could tease this to 9.5. Tampa Bay by 10, buddy.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got Mike McDaniel's hand-chosen quarterback here. This guy's the next generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our next game sees the Saints traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans in a game nobody gives a shit about. The Saints are 2.5-point favorites.
Wow.
39.5 is the over/under.
Wowzer.
The Saints haven't been terrible. They've
their
been
fans,
kind of decent.
But their fans are both like, please lose. Quit winning games. What are we doing? Give me the Saints.
Yeah, this is another one. Don't bet this game. Don't let this game ruin your Christmas weekend.
Yeah, don't do anything with this.
Up next, the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off that huge win against Denver, are traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. 6.5 is the over/under. 48 is the over/under. Do the Jaguars just keep winning and cover this?
So the first thing, I want to give Phillip Rivers credit for being more successful so far than I thought he would be.
He looks like the Tin Man throwing the ball out there.
But I also want to say I think Jacksonville is going to be the first defense that doesn't treat him with kid gloves, because he can still dissect the defense. But I bet if you put 9 guys around the line of scrimmage and you just bring all 9 of them, he's just going to throw the ball away or throw it in the dirt. I think Jacksonville lights up Phillip Rivers, and I don't think Jacksonville covers, but I think they win.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville to win and Indianapolis to cover. And probably, man.
I don't know. I can't do my
trifecta. It's tough to take the under at 48 because they've been scoring so many points.
Because I mean, the Colts defense is playing really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I want to do the trifecta of it with the over, but I just don't know. I don't know, because I think Jacksonville's defense is going. They'll have to score all the points on their own, which they're fully capable of right now.
Yeah. Our next game sees. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Our next game sees the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. 7-point favorites are the Seahawks. 42.5 is the over-under. Carolina needs this to win the division. Seattle needs this to stay the 1 seed. Everything screams Seattle should dominate this game, but I'm going to take Carolina with the points here. I think Seattle wins, but I like Carolina to keep it close.
No, I don't think Carolina can keep it close in this one. Carolina shouldn't have been able to keep it close last week. They're not going to be able to keep this close.
They're the voodoo team.
Seattle is the voodoo ain't going to work on Seattle right now. They've got the voodoo right now. What are you talking about? Seattle is winning games they have no business winning. I'm on the Seahawks here, man.
Fair enough. Our next game sees the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bengals are 7-point favorites. 53.5 is the over/under. And this is just a game that you would expect there to be a lot of points.
Give me the over. Give me the over. I don't know. I don't know which team scores the more. I don't know. 7 feels like a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, so I would take Arizona if you do like a picks and have to pick all the games. But that Cincinnati defense isn't good enough to beat anybody by 7.
No, it doesn't feel like it. But this should be a fun one for touchdowns.
Yeah. On the other hand, the New England Patriots are 13.5-point favorites traveling to New York to take on the Jets. The 42.5 is the over/under. New England just looks like a really good football team right now, and it looks like they're probably going to win this game pretty easily.
Yeah, I was surprised that they stalled out a couple times against Baltimore. Drake May is really good, but he does still make some young mistakes that I think veteran defensive coordinators can take advantage of. Hopefully, maybe we get to bet, make some money on that in the playoffs. But I agree. I think this would be unfortunate, really, really bad first year here for Aaron Glenn. But yeah, I think the Patriots will win this game easily. I'm cool with the 13. It doesn't bother me. Did you see that the Jets have not recorded an interception all year?
That's pretty wild.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's especially
it's
when you have a defensive coach. Sorry, Aaron Glenn.
It's been like I hope they don't do something knee-jerk and get rid of him. But this has been a really rough first year for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, that team's just not good. Speaking of teams that aren't good, the New York Giants are playing the Vegas Raiders in Vegas. The Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. 41.5 is the over/under. This is a game I'm not putting any money on. I don't care.
So I want to tell you, I thought it was funny last week. So the Raiders defense played like really good football at times last week.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it was like every other play the announcer would say a name, and I'd just be like, holy shit, that guy's on the Raiders too? Like, they've just got everybody's like exiled first-round draft picks. It's wild, but the Raiders played some inspired football last week. They're finally figuring out how to use Ashton Genty the proper way. I think the Raiders win this game pretty easily.
All right, I'll go with that pick then. Our next game, on the other hand, is a really good one. The Philadelphia Eagles are traveling to Buffalo. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites. 43.5 is the over/under. Man, like, the Bills didn't look good last week, so this would say that Allen should be on the upswing, and maybe they were holding some stuff back for this game. That pass defense looked really good. Maybe that causes some problems, but if Philadelphia pulls back from passing so that they can run the ball more, that probably is better for them because that's what Buffalo's worse at. I'm going to take the Bills, but I don't know how good I feel about it because this looks like a really good game.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the two best games I think on the slate this week. This is a big game. Like lots of playoff. I know the Eagles are locked in, but I'm sure they, in a year of chaos, they're going, why can't we go back to the Super Bowl? And for a lot of people, there are a lot of people that probably thought this is a Super Bowl preview kind of game. I'm going to take Buffalo here because I think they learned, even in a game where I think they absolutely held stuff back, I think they learned a lot about their run game last week against what everyone believes is a pretty good defense. and they did whatever they wanted to it. And Philly's defensive line just isn't quite as dominant as it was last year. So I'm with you. I'm on Buffalo here.
Our next game sees the Chicago Bears, the 2 seed in the NFC, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. It is so the Niners are already in. They're 11-4. The Bears are the 2 seed at 11-4. The Bears just seem to keep finding ways to win games. I'm going to take the Bears here. I don't know if they win this game, but I like them with that 3. I think I've got some cover with the field goal there on the push.
Yeah, very, very improbable last week. I will say I think the 49ers are pretty close to as talented as the Packers, and a Kyle Shanahan coach team would not forget to cover the onside kick. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
Fair enough. Our last game of the week sees the Los Angeles Rams, who lost that heartbreaker to Seattle.
Man.
8-point favorites in Atlanta. This screams Rams. It's wild that the Rams are now 11-4, and they lost 2 games in absolutely ridiculous fashion. The Seattle game last week, and then they lost that game against Philadelphia on a blocked field goal.
Uh-huh.
And that's going to keep them from being the 1 seed probably. We'll see what happens with Seattle. They're just a game back, but wild how that works out. I think the Rams get some revenge this week.
Yeah, I still think I probably feel like the Rams are better than Seattle, and
Agreed.
I feel really bad for whatever conference championship team has to host this Rams team in the first round of the playoffs. I think that's going to be an unfortunate out for them. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Rams win this by 2 touchdowns easy.
All right, that's week 16.
Yeah.
The penultimate week. We'll get a lot of clarity on what's going on.
Yeah.
And, there'll be football smattered throughout the week. There's games Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So plenty of time to watch games all day on Christmas if you're tired of opening presents.
Yeah, I will say, if you're like Evan and I, if you had any playoff parlays that have been busted by the Chiefs, if you feel like you have a good lean one way or the other with the Panthers and the Buccaneers, Texans, Jaguars, Bills to make the playoffs, like if you feel like you've got a good feeling, like you're kind of locked into any of these teams, go ahead and make some bets. Like you can get some really good odds on some teams I think are pretty good right now. So definitely give a look at one last time at those futures odds.
All right. Well, good futures odds. Yeah, and I usually would have made bets by now for the Super Bowl matchup, and I just haven't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do with the AFC. I would love to put some bets on some teams
with
the Rams and the Eagles, and I'll probably do that. It's just trying to narrow it down to like 2 or 3 teams that I really think can do something.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do it with New England, and I don't like it, but I think I'm going to do it with Denver because that defense has just been so good. And Sean Payton, we kind of laughed at him at the beginning of the season. We thought he was crazy, but he's getting the last laugh again, so maybe that'll work out for him.
I don't know. I still think he's crazy, and when he played in another team with a decent defense and a better quarterback, he kind of got his butt whooped. So
that is a good point. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk some football here before the Christmas Eve and the Christmas weekend hits us.
No place I'd rather be, brother.
And I would like to thank all of you for listening. For Jimmy Champ, I'm Evan Belfiore. Have a happy and safe Christmas, happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends out there, and whatever holiday whatever holiday you are celebrating, do so merrily and be safe out there. From No Broken Legs, thank you for listening from No Broken Legs.
Every action has a